welcome to the Stranger Still podcast. I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Miles.
And we are happy to be here today to discuss, finally, the new Stranger Things trailer for season 5.
The dates have been announced. It's not a trailer. It's a date announcement.
It's a trailer, too.
So you think you call it a trailer?
I call it a trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I call it a date announcement with 9 shots of season 5.
I'm going to call it a trailer.
Okay, and that's fair. Each their own. We're excited to talk about the tidbits that we did get of season 5. We're not really a speculation podcast, but we're going to do that anyway. This is a rewatch podcast. So if you're listening to this and you like what you hear so far, check out our original rewatch of every episode of Stranger Things. We did that through on the lead up to season 4, and then we reviewed all the episodes of season 4. And then we came back what's now 2 years ago, but 1 year after season 4.
I can't believe it's been so long.
We came back to rewatch the series from the perspective of a single character 11
and that
times.
Was so fun. You should definitely check it out. I feel like it really just helps you get a lot more connected to each of our main characters.
Yeah, it was really like do the whole thing through Nancy's eyes, the whole thing through Joyce's eyes. Yeah, so go check that out. And then come back here.
Yeah. And if you are coming here for spoilers, I'm sorry to say we are not that kind of a podcast. We like to keep things fresh and brand new. So when the Duffer Brothers release season 5, we want to know that we don't know anything about what's going to happen.
Yeah. And if you're into the spoilers, the speculation, the set photos, the leaks, there are some great podcasts out there. I don't know that they're necessarily going that far into it, but just shouting out that there are some other great podcasts, Upside Down Podcast, Ham Radio Podcast, the Star Court Food Court Podcast, other people who maybe dig a little deeper than us. What you called us the well-behaved school children of Stranger Things podcast.
Oh, yes.
Duffers, we only consume what you give us.
And with that, let's just go ahead and talk about this trailer, as I call it. I did not know that you didn't really think of it as a trailer.
I call it a date announcement. And to be fair, so do they. That's what it says on the YouTube thing.
I don't know. I feel like we got some shots that is getting us excited for the new season. So to me, that's trailer. Yeah. And honestly, I don't really want more than that.
Yeah, me neither. I would
Again,
like to
we're not a spoiler podcast.
Yeah. If I didn't have this podcast, I feel like I would just not watch anything. I did that for Andor. I know I'm going to watch it, so why spoil absolutely anything at all for myself?
See, and I actually love trailers. I love all trailers, movie trailers, show trailers, all of them. Give me as much as I can. But I totally get why you don't like to watch them, because it does sometimes spoil what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like spoiling your appetite before dinner. If you have a good dinner coming, you don't need to eat things on the way to dinner. I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay, so
that being said, what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun because we were actually 400 miles from our home on Saturday, May 30th. We were in Joseph, Oregon. We had driven all the way out there with a 2-year-old who, by the way, was born 14 months after Stranger Things 4 and is now almost 2.
That's so bizarre.
And so we crept down, we put him to sleep. We crept down the stairs in the middle of the night to watch out of earshot from him.
Trying not to blast it too loud.
Yeah. And I was really, really pumped because it kind of followed the same setup that I kind of wanted, which was the tone of season 1. We started with season 1. The first things we see were season 1, season 2, season 3. We're building up, and then we got those shots. So that's what I wanted, and I got what I wanted. I want the tone of season 1. What about you?
Well, it started off pretty negative. First off, I was so pumped to press play to watch that trailer. It started off with just a bunch of clips from all the previous seasons. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? We've been waiting this long. They finally release it only to just show us old footage. And then I was like, I was getting ready to get so mad. And then they dropped the dates and that just fully distracted me because I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like those are the best dates to release them. I love how they're releasing them. We'll get to that more.
Yeah.
And then when they actually started showing the clips, it was just the way that it did it was like just enough to just like tantalize your excitement. And I don't know, it pumped me up so much. I love that they didn't reveal that much because it's really like this season is going to blow our minds.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
It's so funny how we completely different reactions. I'm the beginning of the thing. I'm like, oh yeah, let's get that tone, baby. And you're like,
did not feel that.
What the heck? This stuff sucks.
Oh, I was starting to get fired up. I was like, come on. It was gonna be such a letdown, and then I was not let down.
So it kind of brings us to what I really think is kind of two big themes coming out of the date announcement, and really all the little nuggets of promo that we've gotten for season 5, which is both digging up the feelings of season 1, but also that this is going to be bigger and more epic than any of the previous seasons.
Yeah.
And those two things are kind of hard to reconcile because season 1 is the smallest season. It's the most small scale season.
Yeah.
So for it to be big and epic, but also kind of feel like we're going back to November 6, 1983. I mean, obviously this date announcement starts with exactly those words.
You know, it's so funny. I like it. It makes so much sense to me. And certainly rewatching it, I felt this, but I was not thinking of season 1 at all when I was watching this trailer.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, I mean, I guess because it started with all the old clips, I was just so focused on, come on, give us something new that I just completely bypassed that. And then by the time we actually got to the new stuff, I'm like, all I can think of is season 5, like getting so excited by like what the little amount they were showing me. So it wasn't until I rewatched the trailer that I really listened to Joyce and Will's dialogue. I really delved more into what they were showing us from the previous seasons and then how that connected with season 5.
And this trailer / date announcement starts right off with exactly what we're saying. Joyce literally saying, I think about that night all the time.
Yeah.
The night it came from you. The night all of it started.
Which is to season 1, which I totally missed the first time around. Okay. I want to delve right into that line. Okay. And I know we talked about not doing speculation. And I don't know that I'm actually going to speculate fully here.
I will say we said we're bad at speculation. I didn't say we weren't going to speculate.
I am just going to pose a question. So when she says, I think about that night all the time, the night it came for you. Yeah. Not the night you disappeared, which is what has been said in previous seasons.
Okay.
The night it came for you. So does that mean that possibly from the beginning there was some sort of connection specifically to Will?
Targeted.
He was targeted rather than just being a random, just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Ooh, I really like that.
Really interesting to me. Oh God, it's got my brain going, and I really don't want to speculate too much because.
Yeah, and but that being that real estate of the very first line of the very first true promotion for season 5.
Yeah,
like we talked about with the season 4 promos had the clock very prominently featured. Like it ended up being super important.
Yes,
the night it came for you.
Yes. And we've talked, if you go back and listen to our previous podcasts, especially the character by character about Will and season 4, we've all speculated that this season is going to be so linked to Will. And signs keep pointing to that. Yeah. I mean, it looks like this is going to be about him.
Yeah. And it feels like we've kind of been treading water on the Will Joyce, which is why it's so exciting to have Joyce and Will open this up with their conversation, talking about November 6, 1983. Because really, season 3, season 4, we didn't do much between Will and Joyce. Joyce was very focused on Hopper for both of those seasons.
Yeah.
Will was very focused on Mike for both of those seasons. but their relationship was the star of season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how you would have introduced the show to somebody after 2 seasons, right? You would have say Winona Ryder is missing her son.
Yeah.
And that's the show. It's 80s and it's got cool music and Winona Ryder is missing her son.
It's about a mother's love for her son.
So we were coming back to that. And the targeted language is so interesting to me. And it's certainly not out of nowhere, right? I mean, what happens at the end of season 4 when Mike says, well, thank God Vecna's gone, and Will's like, no, he's still here.
Yeah.
I'm connected to him. Remember the tingle?
Yeah.
The tingle that Will gets?
And that's when we're first thinking like, oh boy.
Maybe Will will be able to hone that tingle to be a little more helpful.
Tingle.
When he says,
you've
the meat, what was it? In the Battle of Starcourt, Will says, it's here. After this huge meat monster had already scaled the side of the mall.
Yeah, could you give us a little more notice than that? Next time, thanks.
Yeah, we know there's a huge meat monster on the top of the food court, Will.
Oh my gosh.
The connection is there. There's just so much with Will, and Joyce is going to be right in the heart of it, which I'm very happy about. And then Will says, everything changed. We failed, but we need to be ready.
Yeah.
And the one thing I noticed about this was we failed was right with a shot of Eddie.
Yeah, and right before that, it showed Max's brother, Billy.
Yeah, just the fallen, the deaths that we have seen. Did we get Bob in this at all? I feel like we got a little Bob.
I don't think I saw Bob.
Well, we should.
Maybe. I know, poor Bob.
Sweet Bob Newby. This podcast pours one out for Bob Newby. But I think it's a reminder to the whole audience that this was a cliffhanger. Season 4, the team didn't win. We had been victorious in season 1. Season 2, season 3, even though Hopper had died, it was a very victory type of speech. Season 4, we didn't win. No. Eddie died for maybe nothing. Go back and listen to our Dustin episode about that. No. But we ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. And I want to also add, I mean, this whole dialogue between Joyce and Will, again, I just feel like it further solidifies that this season is going to be about Will. Like, he's the one saying we failed, but we need to be ready.
Yeah. That like move forward language from Will is interesting. We have not heard him move anything forward.
Yeah. He's the one like taking over and planning.
Yeah, that's new.
Planning what to do. Yeah, that's very new. He's been so meek and in the background this whole time, or literally in the upside down. So here we go. Okay, so
I have a funny story about this here real quick, though. Will is the one, everything changed. We failed, but we need to be ready. I didn't know that who was talking there. I guess I just didn't I didn't quite gauge that. So I was like, looked at Joyce, and then I was like, trying to Google who says everything changed, we failed, but we need to be ready. And Google AI said, it sounds like you're experiencing a major setback or difficult challenge that has significantly impacted things, leading to feelings of failure. I'm like, no, I'm asking about the trailer, about the dating.
That is so funny.
Thank you, Google AI.
Yeah.
Thank you for trying to reach out. So we get the whole shots of season 1, season 2, season 3. We get Joyce saying, "You think about the night of the time." We get Will saying, "Everything changed, we failed," and then we get the dates.
Boom.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Oh my God.
3 dates announced.
Each time a new date hit, it like literally hit me in the chest. And I am so pumped about these release dates.
We have not talked about this, so I'm excited to hear what you think. Well, what were they? What were the dates?
Boom. First volume, November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving.
Day before Thanksgiving, excuse me. Second volume, Christmas. Final volume, New Year's Eve. I mean, I know what we're going to be doing during the holidays. What are we even going to do in the holidays?
It embodies like every feeling around Stranger Things. I mean, other than like that, the summer season that we had, like Stranger Things to me has always been fall, Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
And so the fact that we're getting this the day before Thanksgiving, right in the middle of fall, all of those warm, cold, chilly feelings.
Yeah.
And then you come into Christmas, you're just remembering all the Christmas lights that are set up when Joyce is communicating with Will. Like, oh, I'm just so pumped about that.
So yet again, another thing that, season 3 and 4, we were in the spring and summer. We are back. We are back to the OG feeling. Like you said, the cold. So do you think this is going to mean there's time jumps between the volumes? So we know volume 1, released November 26th, is coming to fall of 1987. They're sophomores.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And then, I just hope for this. Then Christmas, that could be one more year, Christmas 1988.
Yeah.
And then the finale. So it's not volume 3, it's the finale, right? New Year's Day, 1989 into 1990. That seems appropriate.
Damn.
That's what I want.
Delving into the 90s.
Yeah. Ooh, touch of the 90s.
Well, actually, if you look at it, the finale is released on New Year's Eve, so we're not actually going into the 90s at all if that happens. We are sticking into the 80s till the end, which I love that. This is all speculation. I hope that they do that. All of the actors are so much older. It would just it would just feel more authentic to me if they made those time jumps and therefore having some of the filming of these older older actors closer to their character age.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. We want them to get to senior year. We want the epilogue to be graduation, which will be, I think, the 90s. I don't know if I'm doing that math exactly right. Let's see. Fall 87, they're sophomores. Fall 88, they're juniors. Fall 89, they're seniors. Oh yeah, so I am. So
all the way to, if we're following the release as in relation to what they're actually doing in the episodes.
Yeah.
If they're releasing their Christmassy episodes and then the New Year's Eve one is right before Ringing in the 90s. I don't know. We could potentially, we're not saying this is actually going to happen, but
no, this is absolutely confirmed. No, I guess not every season has released exactly related to the setting of, but
right.
Halloween, season 2 came out in Halloween. It was about Halloween. Season 3 came out on 4th of July. It was about 4th of July.
Right.
The other 2 seasons weren't as good. But to grab this real estate, to grab the day before Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, they've got to be set in that particular time around those particular holidays.
It would just feel so good to have that. I am really keeping my fingers crossed, and we're just hoping. Really, the ultimate goal is that this will do the entire series justice. As long as we get that, I'm happy, even if it doesn't follow what our hopes and dreams are for this show.
And weirdly, I'm in the position of being more optimistic than you, which no one would describe us. But I don't feel like there's as much at stake for a final season with Stranger Things as there is for other TV shows, because season 1, 2, and 3 end on their own terms. In my opinion, season 5 is important to making season 4 look good in retrospect, but I'm not as nervous. I don't know.
I still see it as a whole, even though I have said from the beginning 1, 2, and 3 they could be standalone seasons, but if this is bad, I still feel like it would taint all of Stranger Things for me.
Oh, and it would. But I just meant we're only carrying one cliffhanger rather than Game of Thrones as the big example. It carried 9 cliffhangers and then didn't resolve anything.
Oh, so bad.
I do feel a little bad that we always trash Game of Thrones as the example out there. All right. Are you ready to go through?
Let's do it.
The 9 shots, 9 stills from season 5 that we got, each with a boom. It was each one that it showed.
It just rocked you.
It did. And I'll bring them up on the screen here for us so we can analyze as we talk.
So pretend that you are also watching this along with us and you're seeing each clip as we are staring at it, talking about it.
The first thing we see is Joyce with the axe and the barn doors a banging. And I think behind her is, I can't think of blurry. Will, Erica, maybe Robin, but she's got the axe. The axe.
I thought, here we go again. And it just something felt right starting with Joyce, that valiantly standing guard, the first in line, because she was the main advocate for Will in season 1. She's like ready to take action. And here we are, her ready to take action for whatever life throws at her.
And I love that, take action. She was the first one to take aggressive action towards the Upside Down.
Yep, nobody believed her.
The third episode, she grabs an axe and axes the wall in Holly Jolly.
Yep. Again, going back to season 1.
Yeah, another season 1 like moment that kind of just sprinkles in your brain and says, hey, we're going to get that feeling back, baby. So the next shot we get is very un-season 1, which is Karen holding Holly with a horrified face or look on her face. This has got to be, they got to be looking at something that is the Upside Down, right? That's not a normal feeling.
Yeah, at this point, she definitely is acquainted with the Upside Down. And my first thought at this was, oh my gosh, look how big Holly is.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
I'm really excited for Mrs. Wheeler to finally be in on the plot of Stranger
Me too. And the nice thing about all these snippets is basically like, there doesn't even have to be that much to it. It's just like we're getting reacquainted with our favorite characters, side characters, everybody. We're just getting put back in that world.
And I want to be more with the family unit, the Wheelers. You know, I want to be on Maple
You're always
Street.
talking about that family unit.
I guess the theme for me is let's do all these things within the context of the same settings that we know and love from season 1. And your point earlier about it being cold as well, it's important to me for some reason. Like, look at that wallpaper too. I mean, good God.
It's so 80s. All right, let's move on to the next one. Lucas sitting over Max. I'm just going to go right on about this.
Okay.
I feel like this was so purposefully done. Like, it almost looks like it could have been a shot from season 4.
Yeah.
Like, I think they purposefully gave us zero information on what is going on with Max. Like, oh, we are going to make you simmer in what is going to happen here.
Yeah. This is
I love that.
Yeah, this is like it might as well have been a title card that says nothing new with these guys. They're still chilling.
Yeah,
Max is still in a coma.
Basically, you can't make any new guesses as to what's going to happen. I mean, we still have nothing.
Do you think Lucas is feeling isolated, like he's the only one sticking by Max for it's be about 16 months until at least 16 months until this season, or do you feel like the rest of the party's also coming by and paying visits to the hospital?
Honestly, I just think we're going too deep into the scene that they gave us a snippet. I think they're just trying to show us that here we are, here are our characters, here are your beloved characters.
Yeah, I know that Max will be fine. She'll wake up. She'll be part of the season.
Yeah, everything's going to be hunky-dory.
Yeah, I actually have a pessimistic prediction, which is I think the next trailer we see Max talking. And the reason I think that
you think there's going to be another trailer?
Oh, there will be a full trailer. Yeah, at some point.
There will?
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that we
No,
wouldn't have
there
one.
will be. There'll be one.
I know
for the,
everybody who just heard me say that is probably so pissed.
I know, they're like,
but
"Oh."
I just we've waited so long. The beauty of just getting everything all at once when the season comes out is so exciting to me.
And I agree with that. But the trailer is for the people who don't even know that they're waiting. It's like they don't even remember that it's a show.
Oh,
it'll be on like Monday Night Football or something. It's like, remember this?
I'm really scared to watch that trailer.
But the reason I think that Max will get that is so that she can be part of, like, so the actress can be part of the promo, you know, because she's probably the second most famous person in this season, right? Wouldn't you think?
I think it would be even more cool if she was somehow part of the promo and they didn't give us anything else.
Oh yeah.
Like she's still showing up to all of like the events to lead up to the series coming out or the season coming out, but we still have no idea if she's going to make it or not. So like that in itself tells us like she's still in the game.
She's definitely still in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is Steve and Dustin in a tiled room. They both got flashlights and there are upside down vines and upside down particles coming on them. And the first thing I thought about this was, oh good, Steve and Dustin are together.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. All
Yeah.
I thought, my first thought was like, we're back to the upside down. And then like when I rewatched this, I was like, or is it no longer the upside down? This is the everything.
Yeah, has it crept in? Yeah. Yeah, like which upside down vines are these? Are they the ones that crept through the tunnels, or these, the real upside down? And is that the lab? I mean, I guess I don't know the whole tile layout of the lab or any of it, to be honest.
I don't think. Oh, gosh, it could be anything at hospital or a mall. Yeah. God, all speculations.
Yeah. But see, I don't care. I don't care where it is. I care that Dustin and Steve are together, and that's going to be cool. They're going to have some little adventure together, and that's fun for me.
Our fun duo.
Yeah.
All right, and then the next one is 11 screaming and bleeding while Hopper is trying to comfort her.
Yeah, and she's holding her head, like as if she's gonna feel like
I
she's
think
gonna explode.
She's got some sort of like assault going on inside her brain.
Like something is happening from Vecna or the upside down or the mind flare. Yeah. And we kind of know that something like that has to happen.
Right.
You have to create some drama within 11 so that the season doesn't just end on episode 1 with 11 destroying the upside down, right? Like she's got to not have her powers or have like the amnesia stroke or like season 2, the way that she's handled is we're not sure if she really wants to help anybody. She's running away, so this one, something bad is going to happen to 11. And that's sad, but it has to. She can't be a superhero through the whole thing. Otherwise she could just save the day immediately. It's a Superman problem.
She's going to save the day in the end.
No, I know. And I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
I thought this was your like secret way of saying like you think 11 is going to die in season 5, and I'm saying no, everybody must survive.
I'm just saying like every Superman movie, they've got to figure out something for Superman to have a problem.
Oh,
because
his
he can't
kryptonite.
just be Superman. Kryptonite, exactly. Yeah. Can we talk about Hopper's beard and beanie here? And this is a look.
Damn, yeah, it is.
This looks like he looks like he's in Terminator 2.
This is not at all how he looked in season 4. So definitely some sort of time hop, I think.
Oh, for sure. And with Linda Hamilton on board in the cast, who plays Sarah Connor in Terminator 2.
She's in it. That's so exciting.
I don't know. I immediately thought of Terminator with this look. Oh. Haven't seen it in a long time, but I think
I can
of like
see that now that you say something.
Late 80s, early 90s action garb. He is in that. So I'm glad he's there to comfort Elle in her moment of hell.
Discomfort?
I don't know. Okay, this was my favorite shot. This next one, the 6th one. People with flashlights staring up at a 30, 40, potentially 50 to 60 foot wall
why don't you just say 70?
70 wall of meat. I don't know. You can't even call it. It's the slimy upside down. Just looks kind of like
what did you? I like. It was so clear to me, and maybe I'm just totally wrong, but I instantly thought of season 2. It's the gate. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought of.
Oh,
it's like way meatier though, like showing that the upside down is like way more powerful than it was before.
Yeah.
But that is like. I just assumed automatically that was the gate, but maybe I'm wrong.
No,
I don't know.
I didn't think
you
of
didn't
that.
think that, so maybe I'm wrong there.
I think that's probably is what it is. They never got to the bottom though. They're standing on the ground though, so I guess this.
I mean, there was a bottom, yeah, because they had the bottom because there was
but they
Demodogs running.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, who do you think those people with flashlights are? Is that Steve and Dustin have made their way? I think
God.
I read somewhere it was Hopper and Elle, but I mean, I guess I don't know. And neither. It's kind of blurry.
I didn't really think that they were specifically our people. I mean, like I thought they could have been anybody really, but
yeah, I gotta say, I agree that the overall takeaway from this image is the upside down. And they're getting stronger. It's building this wall. It looks almost impenetrable with the humans just absolutely dwarfed by it here.
Yeah.
And it's so slimy and just so. I mean, look at how well constructed. It look like roots.
Yeah,
almost.
It's so solid.
Yeah, it reminds me of a slimy version of the forest in Lord of the Rings. With the
oh man
ants and those big trees. Yeah, I mean, even better than that. It's alive. I mean, something's alive in there.
Ugh, look at it. It's just like the color that they've got going on.
But I just really like this shot. This is really cool.
It's just grossing me out now. Just the amount of times you used the word slimy.
Well, it is slimy. Look how shiny it is. That's why they have the flashlight, to show how shiny and slimy it is.
Remember, make sure you're watching the trailer along our podcast.
Well, I could post the photos too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, follow us on.
Yeah, make sure to look at these photos that we were always planning on including with the podcast.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and it didn't just decide that now. That's correct.
Yeah.
All right, the next one we get is Mike in a parking lot protecting 3 kids, as Joyce and I believe Will are also back there, and he's just kind of putting his arms out, saying like, "Don't touch them," basically type of gesture. Who are these kids?
I think they're like the next generation of our crew here. You know, they're the next generation of nerds. They're basically where Will, Mike, Lucas, where they all started off.
Oh yeah,
when they were 11 years old.
Yeah. They do look like nerds. I mean, look at the glasses on the guy and the girl.
And his striped shirt and shorts
Yeah.
and a little vest
That's
going
so
on.
80s glasses. I bet they're like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they may be siblings as well, but they got just the perfect 80s wardrobe, perfect glasses. The other kid looks kind of like a nerdling.
But a nerdling. But here's the thing that I thought I was just thinking they're like the mirror of where we were in season 1 with our crew here, the gang, as we always call them.
Yeah.
But this is Mike, who is now older and has the experience of they were rushing to save the day when they were these kids' age.
Right.
But he knows better now, and he's like protecting them. I like that symbolization of like, he's protecting his younger self almost.
Yes. Oh,
like you can't conquer everything.
Ooh, this is going to be a good season for Mike too.
Yeah.
Like you said, you mentioned Will, but it's going to be a good season for Mike. I like the idea that there's a little nerd group who is the equivalent of
we say that affectionately.
We say it as if like the party like from season 1. Let's talk about getting more and more feelings of season 1, which I feel like is the whole theme of our podcast.
Yeah, it seems to be the theme of season 5, or maybe that's just us projecting onto the season 5.
But to have some kids who are there, that brings us back to season 1. That's something our main characters cannot capture anymore.
Yeah.
We getting a new pack of kids might help us get that feeling,
to like realize where we started.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a bunch of tiny kids.
Yeah.
Like conquering the unknown, the scary upside down.
Yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited for them to be in there. Some people are nervous about like introducing new characters like this late, but I feel like they're there. They're going to be there to get the young kid tone that we had in season 1.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, the next one. Then we see a couple of shots of either the army compound or wherever this is, either in Hawkins or elsewhere. And
do they not learn? They've got their guns.
Yeah,
when did the guns ever do a single thing?
Not once. And so they're coming. The thing is glowing and like lava, and it's coming up through the tiles. And yeah, they've helpfully got their guns pointed out like that's going to do anything.
It's like coming in from the underworld.
And if they let the upside down tunnel underground again, so help me, government.
They
your
did.
tax dollars at work,
Of course they
folks.
did.
Your tax dollars at
work.
work.
If you can't see it, then it's just fine.
Yeah. If anyone says that it's unrealistic that the government would make the same exact mistake, or that any corporation or entity would make the same mistake over and over again, work for the government or a corporation.
You'll see it time and time again.
They lost the moon landing tapes, people. That seemed like the one thing you couldn't do.
And that brings us to our final shot,
which is a Will. I don't know. It's so zoomed in, you can't tell exactly where he is. Right?
He's looking up at the sky.
Yeah, he's looking up, almost like.
I think this is.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like inside of a well, but. Okay.
Oh no! I think he is looking up at the night sky. Makes me think of season 2.
Yeah, when the mind flares coming in.
Yeah, and I think he maybe not everybody sees, but I think I think Vecna, the Upside Down, is now out. He can feel it all around. He knows it's coming, and he's like, run. The visceral reaction. Yes. Yeah. Oh, God. It is like so deep, man. I just felt him when he's screaming, run. Oh, I'm so pumped for season 5.
And we bookend this little mini trailer / date announcement with Will giving instructions.
Yeah.
Everything we change and fail, but we need to be ready. And at the end, he's telling them to run. I really like, I just love actually that Will is going to be the center of this season. He was the center of season 1 and season 2, MacGuffin in season 1.
But the thing is, like, a center kind of. I mean, he wasn't. He was barely in season 1, even though it's all about him.
He was just a MacGuffin in season 1, but things are going to circle around Will, revolve around Will, and he's telling him to run. Pretty cool. Now let me go down a little rabbit hole here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Because this was probably the biggest takeaway from the date announcement / trailer was Will shouting run, and people just kind of giving theories about Will and overall what his role in season 5 is going to be. Okay. And I just want to read you some of them and hear your reactions, because there are some crazy ones. The first one is that Will never got out. And actually that is, we're seeing the real Will, who's been down in the Upside Down the entire time, telling them to run. What do you think of that?
I hate that one.
Okay.
I think that's so dumb.
And that invalidates all the personal connections he's made with Mike and Jonathan.
I know.
Joyce
I hate that.
Then, so.
No. Boo.
The other one is that Will has powers like Eleven and Henry, and he's telling them to go and he's going to do battle. This is like Qui-Gon Jinn telling the people of Naboo to go and I'm going to battle Darth Maul. Like,
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't think Will has powers.
Then that takes away from like the strength of 11, like how important her character is.
And would make us wonder what were you doing during this Star Court food court battle, Will? Like, you could have helped.
I know. Come on, man.
He obviously doesn't have powers. He just has the tingle, which is
the tingle. Well, I think that it's possible that the tingle, as we call it, which seems weird to call it that, but we'll roll with it.
I don't know. It's in the neck.
I think that it is going to become a lot more powerful. He's going to sense things so much more acutely. I think he's going to be the window into the Upside Down.
Yes.
I don't think that he's going to have powers, though. I mean, I guess unless you consider that the power.
Now, do you think that Vecna thinks of Will as special? Because I do think that there is an element of Will's experience being different than Barb's experience in season 1, but also being different than Chrissy and Fred and
I think that he is going to think of Will as a threat.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if we're rolling with what we said at the beginning of this, that when they came for him, they came for Will rather than he was a random person. I think that like maybe Vecna chose him for some reason. Maybe he thought like this would be the vessel that he could.
Yeah, and that's one of the other theories. Vecna ultimately wants to implant himself into Will.
Okay, yeah. So like maybe that was Vecna's plan. He was using Will in that way all along, and now Will is a threat.
Yeah, or this is just a joke, but maybe Will or Vecna and the Mind Flayer are fighting over Will, in which one of them gets to tube him up and become him.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
The other theory that I subscribe to, honestly, is that the bowl cut was protecting him the entire time. And
you have talked about that bowl cut so much throughout our podcast.
Bad. And as a boy who had a bowl cut in the late 90s, so I wasn't full 80s, but I had one in the 90s. I think it's actually worse.
Oh my gosh.
The bowl cut was protecting Will, and once he cuts his hair into this new hair, he's absolutely susceptible to Vecna and then the Mind Flayer.
Oh my gosh. All of these are garbage except for the Vecna thing. I think there could be some truth.
The implant into his body. Yeah.
Or at the very least that Will was going to be used as some sort of vessel.
Right. All right. That's it. That's all we get. It's not much. And like we said, that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
okay.
I don't
We're
want
just We just needed something.
Yeah.
And we got it.
And we needed the timeline. We absolutely needed to know when the show was coming out.
Yes.
Thank God.
Finally, we have a date. That's, I think, what people have been most upset about is like, we still don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah.
They keep saying it's coming out in 2025, but when?
And now we know. So I'm happy with that. What are we gonna do on those holidays? I mean, are we gonna be with our family, or are we just gonna watch Stranger Things?
I think cancel all holiday plans.
Yeah.
And just focus on Stranger Things.
That sounds good. I do want to
Tell us what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I do want to point out no Nancy in any of this.
Oh
Nancy's
gosh.
completely missing from this, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, wow. Oh, we're missing a bunch of people. We're missing Robin.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
missing
no
Will's
Robin.
brother.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah,
well, Jonathan is back there with the mic protecting. Jonathan's maybe he's not.
No, I think that was Joyce.
Yeah.
And
No, you're right. That's
Joyce may be holding Will.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we don't see any Jonathan or Nancy. Interesting. Or Robin. Okay.
All dead.
Jeez.
No. If you've been listening to our previous podcast, you know I am holding on to hope that somehow everyone will survive.
I know hoping that for a Forest Moon of Endor type of ending. I want a celebratory ending at the end.
Yes.
Well, we'll be back. We've got a few shows planned, including a couple shows with my brother, who's going to join us, and he'll be watching Stranger Things for the first time ever.
So you'll get the fresh. If you've been on a long Stranger Things journey as we have, then you'll appreciate watching somebody watch for the first time.
Yeah, and we'll also all make fun of them together.
Yes.
All right, thank you everybody. We'll be back this summer and fall for season 5. My name's Miles.
I'm Kathleen, and good night.